Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your Evelyn Shorty, and today I'm reviewing something which is, well, it's something I desperately wanted to read. I'm a bit disappointed that is the only cover we got sent is the FOC one. No other covers are turned up that we ordered, but it's Canary by Snyder and Panosian. Not that Snyder, the one that has all these dude bros online, the good one, the one who used to do Batman, the comic book. And I'm going to struggle to not just be 100% this is an amazing comic book before I even started reading it, because there's so many things about this book which I was already excited about. Number one, just being Snyder. I don't get me wrong, I actually quite enjoyed his Batman stuff, but at no point was it the thing I remembered him for. Since then, he has done so many cool things. A lot of them ended up on my pull list, and even the ones that haven't have been well reviewed by me, and I recommend him to other people because he is a very, very good writer. He can occasionally be a bit wordy, but I think in this particular case it works quite nicely. Not just that, it's Dan Panosian on art, and he is not somebody I have loved for years. I'm not going to try to play that game, but the past few things I've read where he has been art on have really impressed me, to the point that when I saw his name on it, I was like, yes, this is an extra reason why I'm totally going to pick it up, and he does such a good job. His scratchy but neat artwork, his amazing skies, it's everything I wanted from it. Throw in the fact that it's a Wild West story, and yes, 100% I'm going to be checking that out. It has horror elements, but it's done in such a way that they might not be supernatural horror. It could very much be the horror of just people and what they do to the world and each other, and that's kind of horror I really, really like. And fourth and finally, in terms of reasons why I was just going to be crazy about it, the main character wears a themed bandana, and, well, I don't mind comic book themed bandanas, alright? Like Snyder. Put some merch out. I'm going to buy one. And I'll probably get some for the shop as well, because we sold out of the Something Is Killing the Children ones. I had to grab a couple myself before they ran out. So yes, Snyder, if you're watching this, and I'm not sure you will, but if you are, put the merch out. I will buy one. Right, on to the actual comic book review then. Let's start with the writing, because, as I've said, Snyder is fantastic. The criticism I do see against him often, and I've used it myself a little bit, is he can be a bit wordy. He is prone to lots of text on the page, and it can sometimes take away from story. I'm a big fan of the show don't tell kind of thing. I think you can do stuff by physical appearance, you can do stuff by non-verbal communication, by setting. There's a lot you can do where you don't have to just have two people telling you everything that's happened. But in a Wild West era, I feel like you can just commit to it a little bit more. Rush, one of my favourite Western comic books of the past decade or so, really leaned into a more verbose storytelling, a dialogue kind of style, and it worked really well for it. And it works well here as well. The characters are chatty. They do talk to each other, and there's reasons why. And these fall into how well we are approaching the genre, which is Wild West. Because there is certain universal factors in this one, and I kind of like it when I see them, but I like it also when I see them messed around a little bit. For instance, we always get this idea of the idolization of the time period, where it's seen as a heroic thing, but it really, really wasn't. It was a very dark period. There was so many things wrong with it, and at this stage in it, 1891, if I remember correctly, we're already seeing it being idolized by people who have lived through it. And dime novels are a thing, and people have their stories told and writ large. But these people live the stories, and the version that gets written about is not accurate. And we get that right from the get-go. Somebody trying to figure out what's going on, and people constantly interrupting it because he's this famous gunslinger. Main character, by the way, is the one that wears a bandana. And you might get a little bit of what it is there, a coffin thing. Yeah, I am down for it. We also get this idea that there is rampant capitalism, people just trying to exploit the land, which is a huge big thing of the Wild West era, and it's never really done in a way which was good. It made a lot of money, and certainly in the short term made people happy, but seeing it, again, writ large here is very, very good. And these characters always are talking about this, and they're placing it. There's, I think, a few red herrings being thrown in that's going to try and lead us down some of the routes, which I quite like, but then we also have the horror element to it, which is underplayed here. There is certainly the idea that one of the main bad guy that we see in this is believing they are some kind of supernatural threat, and they are creating children to go and carry on his work. But at no point in the comic book do we see anything which makes me think, oh yeah, he is an immortal vampire or something like that. It's just, no, he's just a man who's kind of wrong. And he's bought into his own grandeur about this kind of thing. All great elements of storytelling and presented fantastically. Panosian's artwork, as I've said earlier, is brilliant. I like the scratchy style. It's the second time this week I've been able to talk about how much I like it and how good it looks when you realise that all these disparate loose lines come together in ways that are absolutely fantastic. I mean, just a horse right there. You could go into detail on that one and see an awful lot of line work that doesn't look as uniform as it needs to be, but when you see it as a whole, it looks spectacular. And I cannot stress enough, I love this guy's skylines. I'm trying to find a nice big open thing. Oh, not even open, but just the colouring he uses for the sky and the style of it. It looks very organic, very realistic, but also, again, kind of dirty, kind of messy, and I like that. It adds to the setting in a way which I really, really enjoy. Genuinely, like I said, I had to come into this one and try to be a bit more critical, but it's really hard because it does all the things I like, and it does them really well. This isn't me just being like, oh, it's a Wild West story, so I'm going to tell you it's great. It is such a fantastic Wild West story, which plays around with horror and mythology in ways which are really well paced and really well timed, and it looks spectacular. Honestly, I hope you've managed to grab hold of a copy and take a look at it, because it's great and I love it. That's just me, though. More reviews coming. Keep an eye out for us. Until I see you again, though, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.